Hey, Brandon, you want to hear a joke?
Would love a joke.
Okay, here it goes. hold on. The Minnesota Vikings as a franchise.
Whoa.
Oh, baby! Oh, listen, we are back. I know you missed us. I know people were feeling lost, unnavigated, unguided. They were searching for meaning in a cruel world. And we might not be able to give you that meaning, but we could give you about an hour, maybe a little less, depending, of pure mediocrity and just picking through the scraps of football news like a vulture on roadkill. If that's not an advertisement for this show, then I don't know what is. I put on the sunglasses because it's hot outside, like everywhere. It's like everywhere it's hot.
Yeah, very hot.
Oh yeah, what's the temperature in Colorado right now?
Actually, today is finally cooling off a bit, going back to what should be June-ish weather of 84, 86 today.
Oh, okay. 81 here today. So not too bad. Not too bad, but okay. But
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen,
it's been like 100 2 days here already.
well, you better
And I was
calm that
outside.
weather down before Tom Grossi heads out there to Colorado. You know, just turn it down a little bit. Just turn down the thermostat just a little bit.
Yeah, July gets hot.
You got central air in that place? You got central
But yeah, we do.
Nice.
Yeah, let's get Perna traded.
Let's get, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show, otherwise known as GPS. We are freaking fracking here. We have some news to talk about. We had a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit, as we are getting into the depths of the off season, and we're starting to feel it. Like there's really little to kind of go off of, except hypotheticals.
Yeah,
we're gonna try our best to basically take and accumulate all that information like Adam Schefter, and then make it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some stuff happening. I think this Kyler Murray news is almost real. It's almost real.
It's almost real.
As is the Terry Mclaurin, no contract, no show, trade possibility, hinting that he wants to be traded. I think we could talk about some places he could go. Teams that need, I mean,
the Green Bay Packers.
That good. Like, you could argue any team needs his services, but like which
the
team
Chiefs
really could use a boost at wide receiver? Like, which team has just lost one of the best receivers in the league?
Yeah. Just for this little behind the scenes, but Brandon listed a bunch of teams that he could go to, and the last one he mentioned was the Bears, and I just deleted it and wrote no. That's how I felt there. So no, please God, no. But yeah, we'll talk about that. Baker Mayfield, his name is still floating out there. Do you think Baker Mayfield is just like on Google, like every day typing in his own name, just praying to see some news that he's going to get traded?
Baker Mayfield trade rumors. That's
like,
how he
I feel like
starts every morning.
The team is not like, I feel like the team is not going to keep him in the loop because they don't care about him anymore. So
they apparently care about nothing.
Yeah, there's radio silence there. So Baker literally is just Googling every morning going, am I getting out of here?
Yeah. It sounds like the Panthers are the only team still talking to the Browns, right? And the Browns are just like, we don't want to pay any of his salary. We just don't. It doesn't make financial sense for us. And don't question, please do not question how we make decisions about money here in Cleveland, Carolina. Just because you guys paid 50 quarterbacks to play on different teams doesn't mean we're going to do the same.
Correct. That's accurate.
I got to believe that there's some arrogance in the Browns organization that think if Watson gets suspended, they could figure it out with Baker Mayfield.
There's no way on God's green earth.
I know, but I got to believe somebody there's like, I think we could convince him.
I really think that we could fit. Well, no, because they brought in Jacoby Brissett, right? I thought he would be like the contingency to say like, hey, we won a game. Didn't they win with, was it Case Keenum last year?
They beat the Broncos with Case.
Yeah, they beat the Broncos with Case Keenum and Dearness Johnson. So yeah, because we streamed that game. But yeah, do you really think they could be? I mean, it's honestly the depths of the Cleveland Browns front office.
Yeah,
I feel like there's no bottom at this point. So it's like, okay, let's just see how much they plunge. And more Deshaun Watson news. Apparently, there's even more lawsuits that are on the way. And would this make it up to? There's 2 more, right? So this would make it up to 26. There you go.
At some point soon. Like they say, like the NFL news cycle never stops, and the NFL's mastered how they like
release
space
things
out all of their events. Part of me wonders if the NFL is now just working with Tony Busby and the legal side and saying, let's just keep releasing more lawsuits per week until we get to training camp. We need a little bit of news, even if it's horrible news. Just space them out, Tony. Yeah. That seems like what they're doing.
Thursday's looking like a slow news day. So if you could announce
it. Did you find another lawsuit for Deshaun Watson? Oh, we can.
Oh, buddy. It just like turned to like a pile. We're just like, this doesn't end. And that's the thing, too. If you were the Texans, you were like, woof, out of my hair. But nay, because now they're being named. It's just, it's bad. It's just a whole lot of bad.
We thought 22 would be enough, but we were wrong. So we do have more.
But wait, there's more. Oh, there's more. I don't even know at this point with Deshaun Watson. Like he had, was it yesterday? Because I don't know days anymore. Yeah. It was yesterday. I think he like had the little press conference thing like after practice and kind of gave like some non-answers and was also saying like, talk to when he was asked about the 66 number, he was just like, I don't think that's right, but talk to the legal team about that.
I mean, there were a lot, but
I mean, like I thought it was just high 50s, but it could have gotten that high, maybe potentially. I mean, listen, he gets 2 more, and then if he countersues, which by the way, that was a question too.
Yeah.
Like the reporter was just like, first of all, there's 2 questions. It was like, how are you holding up emotionally? That was one. And I was like, okay, that's a weird take. And then the second one was, how about countersuing for defamation? So if he gets 28 and then he countersues for 3 lawsuits, maybe the Falcons can finally be like, guys, can this be the new 28-3? Please, just not us anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Please
maybe.
Make it go away.
It could be. Yeah, he made his Twitter. Twitter is private now.
Yeah, that's weird. He said he's being welcomed into the community. He's been around.
Bought popcorn.
Stuff. Somebody bought it. Like, I swear to God, I think I know what the person who bought him popcorn was thinking. It's like, look, if these do go away, I want Watson to know I was the guy who bought him popcorn.
Yep.
Because he is still really good at quarterback, maybe. And his $230 million guaranteed. He needs somebody to buy him popcorn. Poor guy. What movie was he seeing? I hope it was Top Gun.
I mean, it could have been. I mean, I would imagine like people are putting like firecrackers in his mailbox. And he's going to like spin that and be like, honestly, the neighbors have been great. Like they're setting off fireworks for me. They just love the fact that I'm here. So,
oh boy.
And yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Browns. But yeah, Baker Mayfield, Panthers are still maybe interested. I'm still a little shocked that it's not the Seattle Seahawks. I really, it's a bold move. Bold move to go from Russell Wilson to Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Or Drew Lock.
You could pitch it this way. Would you rather roll into the season with Sam Darnold or Drew Lock?
That's like, do you cut off your left foot or your right foot? You're like, I don't want to cut off either. Yeah, I don't even.
Honestly, I think I would rather go with Drew Lock. I'd rather go with Drew Lock than Sam Darnold.
It's because like the devil,
Yeah, but like
the ghosts you don't.
I feel like we've seen more from Sam Darnold, and I just don't know if he can ever elevate his game. And both of them have the physical tools, but I've seen Drew Lock play some really good football. I've just seen it followed by very bad football.
But can I make a counterpoint here? Can I make a counterpoint? Because Drew Lock has been surrounded by good wide receivers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in Seattle, there are good wide receivers. Yeah. Sam Darnold had DJ Moore, great wide receiver. Mm-hmm. Had a terrible offense. I'm gonna try and dig Sam Darnold out of a hole a little bit. Okay, I'm not saying he is going to be great or anything like that, but he had a terrible offensive line in New Jersey. He had a terrible offensive line in Carolina.
Sure.
So that didn't. Christian McCaffrey was injured 89% of the time. I'm just saying he's not going to be good, but maybe you roll with Darnold a little bit. He ran in for those touchdowns a few times. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, Drew Lock ran the shit over the Chiefs.
That's the best I got. That's the best that I got.
I mean that it's not it's neither going to excite you.
Please let him be a necromancer.
Oh yeah, I did my Patreon Zoom last week, and there are some Dungeon and Dragon enthusiasts.
I'm getting emails now. Like people are excited. Like
I may have invited them onto the D&D stream to help me through the game at different points.
Listen, I'm going to respond to a couple emails. I got some offers for people to DM the entire thing, which is great. Like they would set us up with character sheets. We still don't know when it is, but yes, Scooter playing a necromancer would be amazing, and only if his name was Lazarus. Like that would just put the cherry on top of that beautiful, beautiful cake. How would he spin getting a bag of poop? Oh, they're literally just like bringing gifts to my front door. And it's really just like a piece of themselves, I feel.
Yeah. My welcoming here has been straight fire. That's how he would spin it.
True. What is this? Yes, that sounds phenomenal. Let's stump the tree.
Oh, that's funny. Like their names, like IKEA furniture names versus hockey player names.
Honestly, it's a valid game. Yeah. Speaking of, you got your Avalanche tonight.
They won.
Are they the home team?
Yeah, they're playing in Denver tonight.
You gonna go to a game?
No. I looked at some tickets, and the starting price was like $900. I said, I might. I really want to stream during the game.
Day of. They
go way down.
I went to a Rangers game. I did. I went last week, and those tickets they plummet day of because all the scalping a-holes who bought them before, they're trying to offload them real quick. So if you go like in the morning, like and look at like Ticketmaster or StubHub or something or SeatGeek, you go and you check that out. I just remembered that I had an affiliation with SeatGeek. So yeah, if you go to SeatGeek, it's been sitting in my description for a while.
Yeah, but, let's see here. Today, 6 p.m. Oh, they have dropped.
Yep. See?
They're at 540 now.
What'd I tell you?
560, 550. Yep.
Oh, just saying. God. Tommy knows how to buy tickets. Like that's I'm good at pouring things, and the people who go to the Q&A, I'm good at pouring, and I'm good at buying tickets. That's it. CBS Finals Bowl. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh.
Clickbait Sports. Yep. I really thought you meant that. Who's a professional DM? Whoa. I want to see a resume. I want to see a resume that has Dungeon Master on it.
Yeah, how do you become professional? Do you get paid as a pro?
That'd be amazing. That would. I've had some pretty significant people reach out, people who are designing their own games, people who work for gaming companies. I'm just saying that.
I think there's more of a market here.
But I told you guys that this was big. It was gonna be big. People are gonna want to be. It's gonna last for like 3 hours. Yeah, SeatGeek's good. Yes, use the code Grossi.
Shouldn't you know if you already bought them?
You're like, I just didn't show up though.
You got Jedi in your name, and you can't mind trick SeatGeek.
It's true. It's true. I'm telling you, D&D clickbait sports is going to be amazing.
It might just switch to that.
It's gonna be like a 3-hour show though.
That's fine. I think they were saying I should be a barbarian a character.
That'd be more tree, I think. I feel like that's
barbarian, and I said I wanted my power to be better than everybody, and they said that's not a power.
That's not. Yeah, it's not really a power.
But they said that because we streamed after my intense clickbait workout.
There you go. Whoa! Jim B dropping a big! Currently live from the Hall of Fame in Canton. The Browns team is here today. They told me to say hi to Kirsten. There you go. The biggest Browns fan there is. I got that. Hold on. Oh, now, you know what? No, this is for Jim B, and he knows why.
Go Chargers, go!
Cool.
His cat is a Chargers fan. So, Angie's. Yeah. Tampa, listen. Tampa came back from a 2-0 deficit. Which natural disaster will win? Lightning or avalanche?
Avalanche.
Okay. I don't know, man. I have no idea. I don't know how people are going to respond to it. And by people, I don't mean the audience, who I think is going to love it. I mean the people that have part of the clickbait group. Like, it's going to go off the rails quickly. Very quickly.
It's hard to do anything with the clickbait group.
It is 5 people. So that's why we should kill one of them.
And we're never on the same page.
Yes.
It's like, hey, let me get in here and talk for a second. And the other guy just won't shut up. You know what I mean? Whether it's Adam or Scooter or Adam, or mostly Adam and Scooter won't shut up sometimes and let you talk. Tree, he knows when to shut up.
Tree, I feel like sometimes, like, he's like either of us. Like, we'll literally just like not talk for the entire episode unless we're like, Tom, what do you think? Brandon, what do you think? Tree, what do you think? Oh, okay, I'll talk now.
Right. I did want to talk about Kyler Murray. What character would he be in Dungeons and Dragons?
A hobbit.
A halfling?
A halfling, yeah. He'd be a halfling.
See, and I learned that the whole D&D...
I love how your chat is just educating you. That's amazing. Okay. All right. Yeah, no, he'd be a halfling. And speaking of Kyler Murray, Kliff Kingsbury, which does sound like a D&D name that somebody just made up. They're like, oh, Kliff Kingsbury, yes.
Welcome to the Kingsbury Island.
Yes, the Kingsbury Manor.
I am king of the berries.
It definitely does sound like that. And
one is good for you, one is poison. You choose. Is that how Dungeons and Dragons work?
Yes, because that's how it works in football, because they always take the good pill at the start of the season and then they eat poison later because then they're terrible. So Kliff Kingsbury coming out and saying that it is expected that Kyler Murray is going to be the highest paid player in franchise history, not highest paid quarterback. Which honestly I think is pretty easy, because I think there's a couple ways you could look at this. Because if Kliff Kingsbury is like, dude, the stacks of money we're going to give you, they're going to be taller than you. They could probably get away with just giving him $300,000. So, just do it in ones and you're set.
Here's $500 in ones. It's
done.
10 feet taller than you, Kyler.
Exactly. So, and he's praying that a deal gets done before the first day of training camp.
Well, we got a hey in here, huh?
Yes, uncultured. Hey.
Hey. That's been a while.
Hey.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so the Cardinals are saying Kingsbury. The Klingon said
the Klingons say
he's praying it gets done before day one of training camp. My thought is if Kingsbury's out there saying he thinks it's going to get done, they're going to make like they're going to do it. And it makes sense for the Cardinals to do this deal sooner rather than later. I think by doing it now, they can save salary cap money, right? I think they're over the cap right now or close to it. They can save money this season. They got a little next year. And if they pay Kyler now, it's the same story every year. Because if they wait, it's going to cost more. And then it's going to cost more. So just do it. And yes.
Where does he fall in like, is he in the upper echelons of like what?
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. Right now? You just have to be a good enough quarterback and your contract is up at the right time.
Well, I mean, for Kyler Murray. So like, he's going to get a top 10 deal, you know.
He's better than Goff and Wentz when they got paid. So,
but is he going to get paid top 5 money now just because that's what the market is going to dictate?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
I feel like what everybody says about Kyler Murray, he's so athletic. So athletic. And then like that's kind of where it stops. And they're like, okay, that's it. Like he has like that potential and he's had games where he's phenomenal. And then there's games where they can't do anything. Like, are you going to give him top 5 money? How do I put this? Do you think he's like a true game changer? Like, do you think that he is the guy to like alter games?
I think he can be. Yeah. I think
consistently.
Yeah. The big question is, can he do it consistently? And can he do it when, you know, the game isn't falling in the offense's favor?
Yeah.
I think the Hail Mary game against the Bills is peak what he's able to do. I mean, that play to win the game, it's just insane. Not every quarterback can do that.
Sure.
I think, yeah. There are a couple, like DeAndre Hopkins gets hurt last year. That was a huge reason the Cardinals started to sputter on offense. They lose J.J. Watt on the defensive side of the ball. And they're going to be without Hopkins for half the season again this year. Yes. So, but like good quarterbacks, they transcend those sort of things that happen through the course of a season.
Yeah.
We have yet to see Kyler do that. That is the big question mark. But I mean, I would take him over so many other quarterbacks in the league.
Sure.
And hopefully, you know, it's what is this? He's heading into his 4th season.
Yeah, it's 3rd or 4th at this point.
Let's see here.
I mean, so but Kyle,
yeah, this will be his 4th season. So it's, you know, it takes time, I think, to get really good at the position. I would say, like, if you're betting on Kyler Murray's future and what he can do, this is his most important season as a pro. Like 3 years, like you usually want to see quarterbacks make some sort of leap in that 3rd year, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's when everything should click with them, where they should have the mental grasp of the game, where it's second nature.
Sure, it slows down and all that great stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, like he had his highest passer rating last season, 3,700 yards to 24 TDs, just 10 picks.
But that's not like great stats. Like those again.
Yeah, well, you're used to having Aaron Rodgers. That's like
no. What like, I'm saying, no. What I mean by that is like, yeah, you still take him over a bunch of other QBs, but I mean like top 5. Like, what is Justin Herbert? Like, what is Patrick Mahomes? What is Aaron Rodgers? What is Tom Brady? That's what I mean, because you're starting to list QBs. Where's Kyler Murray? He's not top 5. Like he's not there.
No, I would say he's between 6 and 12 somewhere. Well, maybe 6 and 15, just because it seems like there are so many good quarterbacks right now.
It does. I mean, you pick, and I know he's only played 1 full season, but Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray. I'm taking Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that Kyler Murray adds is his ability to run. The problem is he's suffered injuries the last 2 seasons as well. It's weird because I think he's got a better arm in terms of like accuracy, finesse type throwing than Lamar Jackson, and is almost as hard to contain running as Lamar. But like, I would still take Lamar Jackson over Kyler Murray. You know what I mean?
Hold on one
Does he
second.
deserve top 5 money? Like in
No, but he'll
the
get it.
ideal world and how you pay quarterbacks, no. You would say like, look, we want to pay you about the 7th, make you the 7th highest guy, right? Like that seems about fair. But that's just not how the quarterback market works.
Here you go, Perna. Would you take him or Russell Wilson?
Or Russell Wilson.
So you think Russell Wilson's a better QB?
Then Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So let's put him on the list too here. Okay, so right now, just off the top of my head, Rodgers, Brady, Burrow, Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Wilson, all better than Kyler Murray, yeah?
Wait, yeah, say that. Give me that list.
Rodgers,
Yes.
Brady.
No.
Purdy,
Guy's
come
a
on.
fucking washed up has been.
Purdy, he could, like, if Rodgers wasn't there, he would have won MVP last year. Pardon, come on now.
MVP of poop.
Most valuable poop. Okay. Your incredible bias aside, Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Yep. Justin Herbert. You can't.
Yes.
Yes. Lamar Jackson, you just said.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson.
Yes.
Okay. What about like a guy like Matt Ryan?
Ooh. I mean, would I take Matt Ryan over Kyler Murray right now?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, like, I don't really like Kyler Murray. That factors into like if I'm making a decision, like he annoys me. I'm not saying like he's a bad
Guys, I'm not finished with the list. Calm down. Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen are on the list too. It's okay. Don't worry.
I think like Matt Ryan's just getting old. So yes, I would take Kyler Murray over Matt Ryan.
Matt Stafford over Kyler Murray?
I'd take Matt Stafford over a lot of guys on this list.
Okay, so right now, just off the top, Rodgers, Brady, Burrow, Herbert, Jackson, Wilson, Mahomes, Allen, Stafford. That would put, and that's without listing anybody else. That puts him at 10.
Yeah, that's why I said between 6 and 12.
But he's going to get paid top 5 money.
Yeah, that's why I say it. Like it doesn't make sense, but that's just how the quarterback market works.
So like he's going to get paid. He'll get paid less probably still. He'll still make less money than Aaron Donald because Aaron Donald's getting like God money with that new extension.
Well, he is God, but I prayed Aaron Donald that night.
People are saying Dak.
Ooh, that's a good debate. That's a good debate. Man. Ooh. Yeah, I kind of like Dak over Kyler, but like you're splitting hairs in terms of if you're talking about paying a guy. Somebody's saying rough. Watson's last time he played top 2 quarterback in the league. Like, yeah, I think I would take Watson over Mahomes. Like if I were starting a team and there were not 26 possible lawsuits against one guy, but yeah, I mean that's the thing.
That's a great idea, Ethan.
He just got a lot to prove.
Doing a top 10 QB ranking, great idea. It's not like Perna and I have talked about this.
Oh, we'll start. Well, yeah. Well, I guess we got to do all 32.
Should we? All right. So you want to do next week? We'll do our top 10s on our channels, and then we'll come together and try to do 1 through 32.
Ooh.
You got time next week?
I should.
All right. We'll talk about it.
We'll figure it out.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins. I would take Kyler Murray over Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I would take Kyler Murray over Kirk
And I've been like, I believed in Kirk Cousins longer than most.
That's dumb. Shouldn't have done that.
I mean, Derek Carr or Kyler Murray? Ooh. I'll take my bias. I'll take Kyler over Derek Carr.
I think he has that like little extra. Like I think that Carr is a better traditional QB, but I think the athleticism of Kyler Murray might slightly edge out Carr.
Yeah.
Just saying. Yeah. Just a bit.
Yeah, Watson screwed the whole thing up. The Browns did.
A bit. Oh, come on now. Come on. That's not true. No. Well, that's the thing. I go back to when I was talking before about like being a game changer. I'm thinking about that playoff game. Like I'm literally thinking about the playoff game in the Rams where Kyler Murray, to be fair,
he was horrible.
He was terrible, but like their offensive line was bad. Like nothing was working that day, but he did not make the team better that day either.
No.
And listen, good QBs can have bad games, right? Look at Aaron Rodgers against the Saints. Look at Aaron Rodgers against the Buccaneers. Like it happens.
Yeah.
But Minshew,
I'd give Minshew $230 million guaranteed tomorrow.
And that's not even to play.
No, it's just here. You earned this. This is yours now.
Yes.
No, you don't.
Ooh.
No, you do not want to see that.
A healthy Baker Mayfield versus Kyler Murray.
Man, I would take Kyler Murray over Baker, even healthy. Just for the one reason for some wide receivers want to play for Kyler Murray.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Who was it? Speaking of Kyler Murray, was it Warren Sapp tweeted out that video of Hollywood Brown dropping all those balls? Did you see that?
Oh no.
Yeah, so like Warren Sapp, like he did like the he quoted Hollywood Brown, who said like, you know, like he just didn't like fit in the system or whatever, and just showed like all the balls that he was dropping when he was like wide open. Like a lot of the highlights or lowlights were from the Lions game where he just like dropped everything. But the week before he had an amazing week. Yeah, that was yeah.
Warren Sapp or Warren Sharp?
Oh, might have been Sharp. Might have been Sharp.
Let's see here.
Sharp.
I gotta find this. The system wasn't for me personally.
Yes, that one. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Him dropping all of those passes.
What a horrible drop against the Lions, that first one.
Dude, although there's a lot of Lions ones, it just hits him in the hands. Like, it looked like me out there.
Oh, yeah, I remember that game.
Practicing. He had a bad game. Like, that's the only reason that game was close. Like, everyone talks about the Justin Tucker, like, long field goal, but the only reason that game was close was because Hollywood Brown, like, dropped everything.
Yeah. No, Hollywood Brown is... He's been vocal about not getting enough attention and targets, like, the last 2 years in Baltimore. He's not an elite receiver, and that's the Ravens were like, oh yeah, we'll deal him easy.
We'll take a first for him, sure.
Now that said, like receivers don't necessarily want to play for the Ravens either, but that's just because they have to block more there.
I take
and like Lamar is so good running the ball that's part of the game, and it is going to take away the amount of opportunities they have. I think Willie Snead talked about that. Like the system is different there, and it's you know, it's just part of when you have a quarterback as insanely talented as Lamar Jackson. But he's like, that's the thing. It gets lost that he's still pretty damn good at passing. It's just a little bit different. So
we'll do this in late July. Top 10 Dorito flavors.
Oh, and I can do that.
I'm allergic to them too. So like
oh,
I'll just eat them and go like full blown hives, and I'll be like.
Oh man, I don't even think they sell the best Dorito flavor anymore.
Actually, one of them is vegan. The purple bag, the barbecue.
Yeah,
it is actually vegan. True story.
Yeah, the Doritos Jacked. That was the best flavor.
I couldn't tell you. Is it
Doritos Jacked?
Is it like pepper jack cheese?
No, it's like buffalo ranch or some shit.
Oh.
It was so good. Ranch dipped hot wing. That's what it is.
Interesting. Can we talk about Tua real quick? Because people are talking about Tua versus
Mahomes.
Yeah, but people were talking about in the chat also like Tua or Kyler Murray.
Oh,
but,
I mean, right now you have to say Kyler Murray.
Yeah, you have to say Kyler. Tyreek Hill, a little podcast, saying that Patrick Mahomes does have the bigger arm, but when it comes to accuracy, which is Tyreek Hill's preference,
Tua more accurate.
Tua's more accurate.
Yeah,
and a lot of people are like, no. I don't know about that. People are like, oh, well, he's just like, pumping him up and he's saying, okay, like, he's just supporting his QB. He's not putting down anybody. But a lot of people are just like, he's kind of just making it up.
No, I think that you could probably point to statistical evidence that Tua's more accurate than Mahomes, but that's like one metric.
Yeah, it's one
quarterback. Yeah. And it's not saying Mahomes isn't accurate. He's a very accurate passer. But I think like there's precision accuracy, and I think Tua probably has that. I listened to almost that whole damn podcast, and the Patrick Mahomes and Tua part was so insignificant, like compared to everything else they were talking about. I think like Tyreek Hill leaving the Chiefs is bigger than Chiefs fans want to admit. Patrick Mahomes is great, but it's like when Randy Moss left the Patriots, there's a void in the passing game. The Chiefs will replace it. Like Andy Reid's too good. They've got like 100 receivers to find that, the production replacement. But them talking about the trade situation was pretty fascinating. And I thought it was more about Tyreek Hill trying to hype up Tua than like saying anything negative about Mahomes.
Yeah, it didn't come off.
But in that same vein, I think Tyreek Hill was also a little tired of Mahomes getting all of the credit for the Chiefs' offensive success. Like he was literally talking about like how he wanted more of the attention for some of like the crazy shit Mahomes does in the passing game. I was like, there it is. That's one part of it. And then, it was the money. Like the Chiefs just weren't going to match the insane money that the Dolphins and Jets were willing. But also there's delusion. Like Tyreek Hill has the best agent in sports and Drew Rosenhaus. And they're like, we just felt like Tyreek wasn't being utilized enough in their offense. He had 111 receptions last year and more targets than he's ever had in his career. It was like 134 targets. Yeah. I was like, they're just making stuff up to back their justification for leaving Kansas City. And I think the craziest thing about Tyreek Hill leaving the Chiefs, and it's a big middle finger to the Chiefs organization, is like they took a chance on him when nobody else would touch him because of the off-field stuff, which was pleading guilty to strangling and punching a pregnant woman. So, and like you can dig into that case and say like that was his only option and was the best option. But like they were the only team that was like, we'll take a chance on this dude.
Sure.
And then the second round of allegations were out there and they gave him a contract extension at that time. So, I think the Chiefs were like, look, we stood by you through some questionable things, and this is how you're going to do us. So that was like, when I watched it, those were the real stories. But what are people going to click on? Patrick Mahomes, not as good as Tyreek Hill. Let's pitch it that way.
Yeah.
Sorry, I ranted there, but
No, it's all good. Well, I mean, again, I'm curious to see how he'll be utilized in Miami. He's obviously going to be like the number one target, but you also do have Waddle, who had a great year last year. He is a good receiver. have Gesicki, who is a good tight end, and with some offensive line help and an actual running game because they didn't have any. I've been saying the Dolphins, I picked them to potentially upset the Packers on Christmas because I think that they could be a very good team. But as everybody and their mother has talked about at this point, it's going to come down to how good is Tua. Yeah. Because McDaniel is like, here you go. Here's everything. Do something with it. And if you can't, well, then we're going to have to go find a new QB.
Well, I think because I'm working on an episode, hopefully for Friday, about players who can have breakout seasons. And this idea came when I was working on yesterday's episode about Gesicki and Jalen Waddle. Yeah. And how they're going to be the biggest beneficiaries from Tyreek Hill being on the field at the same time as them. Because you're defending 50 yards of field when Tyreek Hill is out there. That's just how defenses had to play him.
Sure.
And we already saw Waddle succeed when the Dolphins really didn't have a threat outside of him. And we saw Gesicki have the most receptions he's had in his career last season in kind of just a lackluster sort of efficient offense. And I'm trying to figure out which guy might have the biggest boost in production. And I'm kind of leaning towards Gesicki just because
I think Gesicki.
Of the way the Chiefs were able to create space for Travis Kelce in their offense. It seems like that's going to be the same situation. And I think both guys are going to have bigger impacts on a per play sort of average. So
completely agree. And just with Daniel also, in how that offense is going to function.
Yeah. All Tua has to do is find Tyreek Hill deep one or two times a game. And then all that underneath stuff is going to stay there for Waddle, which he's already great at doing.
Yep.
And Gesicki. So
Waddle, I mean,
they're going to use their running backs.
Chase Edmonds,
use them in the passing game.
Dude, the speed that they have on that team is crazy.
Yeah.
If you're not having end arounds being done and all the pre-snap motions that you saw in San Francisco, I'm telling you, it might take them a little while to get going, but be careful about the Dolphins. Midway through, under a new system, they get a month or two under their belts.
Yeah,
it takes a problematic team.
It's they're kind of in the same boat that the Broncos are with how their offense is going to evolve, and we all expect it to just hit the ground running, right? But there's a lot of new stuff that you're going to have to adapt to. So the first month to me, there might be growing pains.
If they start 0-4, and I mean Denver Broncos,
get out of here.
Oh my gosh. Just to see the total meltdown would be.
If they start 0-4 and then go undefeated after that, I'll take it.
That's fine. Listen, you could lose every game in November and still win the Super Bowl. That's what the Rams showed. So it really.
They had a bye week, though. Come on.
All right, so they lost 3 in a row. Not great. Other thing, little Packers news, little Green Bay Packers news. Alan Lazard and people are like, are you gonna do a video on this? I'm like, no, because it's gonna be rectified almost immediately. And it was. It took a whole week. Alan Lazard's like, I'm gonna sit out. I want more money. And then he signed his restricted free agency tender. So Alan Lazard back in action. And there you go. That was the whole story. There was a tiny bit of drama. And then the drama went away. I really thought about it for a hot second. And I was like, there's not even enough I could say about this. They're not going to throw a bucket of money at him. Right. And he's probably not going to sit. So we'll be fine. So
the Packers they're like, we're not going to pay you more. If you play really well this season, maybe. But we've got a couple rookies coming in that are probably going to be just as good, if not better than you. So,
well, I think it's Alan Lazard. I forget which coach on the Packers put this. It might have been the receivers coach, or it might have been the new offensive coordinator. Basically said, hey, Devontae Adams is gone. Somebody has to catch the footballs that were thrown to him, right? The passes that were thrown, someone's got to step up. Whether it's going to be Sammy Watkins, who wants to rejuvenate his career in Green Bay, because Sammy Watkins, even though it seems like he's been in the league forever, is still a relatively young guy. He just can't stay on the field.
Yeah, well, he was was he 20 or 21 when he came into the league?
He came in like real early. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sammy Watkins, you got Alan Lazard, who at least has some familiarity with that because you bring up the rookies like Watson and Dubs and Torrey. Like it's going to take time for them to actually develop. And, for them to be good, you can't expect them all to be Justin Jefferson the first season. So I'm just saying that there's possibilities that Aaron Jones is still going to be our number one wide receiver this year. And that's fine. And
yeah. I've been grabbing Aaron Jones and some of the fantasy.
Dude, he's going to have a monster year if he can stay healthy.
Yeah. If he's on the field, that's a good pick for your fantasy football team.
Mm-hmm. Completely agree. Also, in other news, Scary Terry, speaking of wide receivers, we didn't really dive into this. Scary Terry not showing up to minicamp. And I have said this before. If there is one free agent wide receiver, well, he's not a free agent. If there was one wide receiver that was rumored to be traded between the DK Metcalfs, between the AJ Browns, between the Scary Terry, it was Scary Terry all the way. All of the way. Him on the Green Bay Packers, I would literally jump for joy. I would be ecstatic because I'd be like
the
okay,
perfect receiver to replace
Super Bowl,
Adam.
baby. Like we're going to the Super Bowl. Nothing stopping. I will sound like Scooter because
no, that's fair. He's that good. And I had a whole thing about him in yesterday's episode, but I took it out because it was just way too long. My question is, why on earth would he want an extension in Washington? There's no reason for him to stay there. There's no reason for him to believe Carson Wentz is going to help him get paid more. There's no reason to believe Carson Wentz is the long-term answer at quarterback. Washington would actually benefit from trading him because they've got to be in a position to draft their QB of the future.
Yeah.
So Ron Rivera said they were close. He thought they were close on a deal. Other things say they're still far apart. And then there's this idea that the football team Commanders are trying to trade him. If I'm McLaurin, I want to be traded. If Devontae Adams is willing to leave Aaron Rodgers, if Tyreek Hill is willing to leave Pat Mahomes, why don't you get traded to a better quarterback and see what happens? Even if you don't get the new contract yet, go play with a good QB for 1 year and you will become probably the highest paid receiver in the league. Teams that could do it, Colts. Oh my God, I would love to see him go to the Colts. Matt Ryan, opposite Pittman. I think it's a great fit there. Packers, yes, makes sense. Ravens make sense. And the Bears.
No. The Bears don't have any money this year, though. They have no money this year. Next year, they're going to have a lot of money because there's also the potential, right? Next year, I think it's this year. After this year, he'd be a free agent, right? So, I mean, they also could just wait. Scary Terry could be like, all right, I'll play this season. And then after that, I'm done. No matter how much money you give me.
Yeah, no, that's you can do that too.
It's not the Bears. Please no. Please not the Bears.
The Cowboys. Somebody saying the Cowboys, man.
Oh God. The ones who I still can't believe Amari Cooper for a fifth. How could the Browns make that much of a big brain move and then they're like, and let's spend over $200 million guaranteed on Deshaun Watson?
I played golf it was high 90s.
Yeah, how was your golf outing? Any eagles?
Well, it's a scramble. I don't think we did it. You should get an eagle when you're playing in a scramble tournament. I don't think we did.
I don't know what that is.
It's best, everybody hits and you just play whoever has the best ball. So it's the only way to play golf if you're not a good golfer. But it was the Monday. It was for the Alzheimer's Association. So, raised money for a good cause. I took off work that day. It was hot. And it was also, the pollution was disgusting. And
just in general?
Yeah. It's Denver. It's the City Park Golf Course and it has this great view of the city and the mountains. and we got there super early and you could see the smog in the distance. And then it got worse and worse. And I was outside for like 5.5 hours, and the air quality's been bad with the heat the last few days. And then Monday night, all of that pollution going into my body, like I thought I was getting sick. I was like, oh God, something's wrong. I was like, it's either I thought it was allergies, and then it got worse. And then yesterday didn't feel great, got through it, but I think I was just trying to get all of that disgusting air out of my system. So was it worth it? Sure.
A lot of farts.
Yeah. But heat and pollution, by the end of the day, I was like, why do I
Not
feel so horrible?
Not a good man.
Not good.
That's not ideal. Not ideal.
But I think I could get good at golf. Give me a month of lessons, a summer of playing. I'd probably be one of the top golfers in Colorado.
Probably. Speaking of Washington, this is totally not a hot button issue. Jack Del Rio was fined $100,000 for his comments that he made, which I think he deleted his Twitter
Did he?
I think I'm pretty sure he deleted it afterwards.
Good.
Because can I ask, and maybe you know this, what was the context of him even giving that response? Because if people didn't see it, basically he said, hey, look at the all the focus is on the dust up that happened at the Capitol on January 6th. I was like, okay, that's an interesting way to categorize it, sure. Yeah. And then he then said, how come nobody's talking about the violent protests that occurred? Which I feel like people are talking about. But he basically said, let's compare these two things, and I'm just asking a question. So that made all the waves on the internet. And then what was likely going to happen, he gets fined, which then sparks off a whole, this is a free speech violation, which again, people who have not read the Constitution knowing how free speech works, he can say whatever the heck he wants. And as Ron Rivera has said 18 cajillion times, he's just like, he said too, he's like, I read the First Amendment 20 times today. Like I woke up and I brushed my teeth and I read the First Amendment. And going on, he's like, you could say whatever you want, but he's like, it impacted the team. And so he got fined because of it.
Yeah. And Ron Rivera is, he served in the military. Like, I think you got to say some dumb shit to, get under Ron Rivera's skin. I think because the stuff was happening in Washington, that's probably where the question came from for Del Rio.
It just seemed like it was.
It's just a tone deaf response to like being completely unaware of working in a diverse environment. You know what I mean? And also like talking about like saying, why is anybody talking about the violent protests? We did. Like, do you remember 2020? That's all anybody talked about for months and months.
Correct. There was a whole summer. Whole summer we talked about it.
They were talking about that because January 6th, because that was on trial.
Correct.
So like, that's why they're talking about
I always find it interesting, and I know this like just sparks like political garbage, but I always find it interesting when to try and make your point, you belittle the thing that would make your point look worse by calling that a dust up and then being like, but here's this thing. Hey, can both of them be bad, but also at the same time, we can look at them through an objective lens and say there's a bunch of nuance there and say, hey, one of these things might have more like weight than the other, but also still like the results from the people who were like, who caused damages and what have you, not the actual peaceful protesters. Like that was a problem too. Like that's I don't know why.
I think most people like both are bad. Like protests turning into riots or looting, like nobody, not nobody, but like people aren't supporting that. You know what I mean?
There's like, burn those businesses down. Like, I don't know. It's just like,
It's just a tool to try and keep people divided. Like
Correct.
That type of conversation. That's all it is.
Correct.
It's like thinking we're not on similar ground when I think a lot of us are, and it's rhetoric that you buy into based on which type of freaking news you consume. And then it's like sports. You choose your side and you stick on it. And you say things like to try and support your side. And like I've thought Jack Del Rio is a tool for a long time. Like he coached, and that has nothing to do with any sort of political affiliation. He was defensive coordinator for the Broncos. He stepped in as interim head coach and did an okay job there. But like, I don't think he was a great defensive coach. He kept getting jobs. So, you know, that part of it, like,
but that's what I mean. Yeah, no, you're 100% correct. And like, that's why news and like all that, like we put out that like divisive garbage, right? Because that's going to get clicks and that's going to get responses and shares and all that great stuff, right? I get that. It's terrible, but I get it. But like, that's what I mean. Like, I just don't understand why Jack Del Rio is even talking about this.
Yeah.
It just seemed like it, and that's why I was asking for the context. Like,
this was my advice. Anytime, if you're an athlete, coach, or anytime you get posed a question that could be any bit political, this should be your response.
Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis, people.
Just divert.
You've
Do
never
not
seen
answer
that
and
before?
divert.
Dude, that is like the greatest clip ever. Like, you saw the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh my, and he's just, that was phenomenal. That's an old clip though.
Yeah, I don't know how I've missed that.
That is a phenomenal clip. I'm so glad you remembered to play that. Get your hand off my penis. Dude, yeah, if you've never seen that video before, I highly recommend you saw it. It's like only like a 2-minute video, and it's a guy getting arrested. It's like 10 to 12 years old at this point. And he's like getting brought out to the car, and he's just like, you said that I could speak. And he starts going on this monologue, and they're trying to get him into the car. And he's like, get your hand off my penis. It is truly amazing. Yes.
Yeah. And
tribalism, 100% in sports.
That's the place it's okay. Like,
yeah, as long as you're not a toxic a-hole, like,
yeah, you can take it to an unhealthy level, like the dude who just punched the
the lightning fan.
Yeah.
But it may, honestly though, to be fair, and I'm not defending him, it makes sense though, because he's from Staten Island. Like, he doesn't, like, it's not a good place. Yeah. So everybody in New York knows, like, we don't talk about Staten Island. So
yeah, like, you're supposed to, like, sports is okay because you can believe in your team even when you're wrong, but that's the whole point. Like,
right?
There's no consequences other than a win or a loss in a game. Yeah. You get into real life, it's a different conversation. And I think that's like, what I don't buy is like Jack Del Rio saying like he's open to having a conversation with anyone. No, you're not. You just want to tell your point. And that's like if all of us are honest, like, we don't want to have conversations. We just want to tell you how you're wrong and I'm right.
This is why I'm right, and that's why you're wrong. Yeah. I mean, that's how like Perna and I can sit here and be like, oh yeah, Packers gonna have a top 5 defense, and Broncos are gonna win the AFC West. That
cares if I'm wrong.
The tribalism in its most like fine, flowery form, where it's just like, oh yeah, sure, let's root, because if Aaron Rodgers went to the Denver Broncos, it'd be like, you know what? Witches are getting a bad rap. I feel like
Blue of Earth. Hey, Jack Del Rio, how do you feel about equal
That's the conversation I want to see.
Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis, people.
People.
Best part, people.
The whole clip is gold. Like, the whole clip is gold.
Sorry to bring up Jack Del Rio. I know the mods just had to work overtime.
Thank you, mods. Love you. Appreciate you. But yeah, it's fine in sports as long as you're not a toolbox. Like, but like, because that's what makes it fun too, right? Because people like take Tree, for example. right? Steelers go to Super Bowl, but that's what makes it fun when like the Browns, when we like the Browns, actually blew out the Steelers because it was like, oh my God, this is hysterical. This is funny, right? Just like when the 49ers beat the Packers, like ha ha ha. Like that's when it's fun. When we've turned this into, when we've turned all of this into tribalism, that's what, no, it's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good. It's like, ha ha, your team lost. And it's like, well, this is a problem for the country now.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, but you got owned, man. got him. Yeah. It's fine.
Get your hands off my penis.
My penis.
People. I
love it.
All right. Look at that, Tom. We crushed an hour.
We did it. Oh, and Richard Sherman signed with Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
So that's good. He's also not retiring, though.
Oh, Minka Fitzpatrick gets a 4-year extension. Is that what you're saying in the chat?
Oh? Yep, there you go. 18.4 mil.
Wow.
He deserves it, though. Fitzpatrick's a good player. You know, I will... Yeah, watch the Dolphins be really good, though, now. And Minka Fitzpatrick's like, damn it. Got traded at the wrong time. It's fine. Perna, what do you got coming out today?
It's happening today.
Is the Antonio Brown episode finally coming?
Will be up today. Doing some tinkering. But yes, it is a 23-minute episode right now.
Nice.
So it's the story of AB. We forget he was once an underdog. And I wanted to do Brown because his career is crazy and then it ended so poorly and it was all his fault. So, you know. I wanted to look back at when he was good and people were rooting for him. And people they like to point to one moment, Devontae's perfect hit, as when everything changed. Not true. So that'll be out today. What do you got, Tom?
Finally, people have been clamoring for it for a while. It will be the edition of this season. Will be released today. All 32 NFL teams, their hopes and dreams for the future expressed in song. I do it every year. So, yeah.
How have I not seen that?
Because it's usually attached to the last reaction video of the year from like the previous season. So now I just made it its own standalone video.
Wow.
Yep. It's happening.
Do it up.
This season is occurring. It's all written. It's been written for 2 weeks now. I just got to sing it and also edit it and sound mix it and do all that. Maybe it'll come out. Well, folks, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on
What is today? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Friday? Probably not. Maybe Monday? I don't know.
Maybe. Oh, Perna, apparently you were... Perna, apparently you were in one.
I was in one of the song episodes?
Yeah. I think you sang.
Oh, wow. God.
Guys, we don't remember. Like, that's like probably like 2 years ago. Or if it was just last year, it feels like 2 years ago.
Dude, when I say like I don't remember what I did last week for videos, like I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Just as soon as the video's done, I think something in my brain
it's gone.
Memory out.
Yeah, it's gone. I get it.
I was I show videos to Carmel, like she likes watching videos on my phone, but like videos of her and the family and her cousins. And I've been like trying to delete videos that I don't need. It'll be like, a clip from a football game or whatever from the season. And I was just started deleting some of the Brecky clips because I was getting in there. I was like, Brecky!
Like, I think the best part about is that I asked you to record that with no context whatsoever. It was just like, hey, just give me this. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be used for because it's going to be way too complicated.
Yeah.
Like, all right, bet.
Okay. Well,
I'll
be watching this time.
Appreciate it. I also did the Tinder episode, which came out Monday. I thoroughly enjoyed how that came out.
Oh, yeah. Is that doing well?
Yeah. It actually pulled the channel out of the rut a little bit. Nice. So I just did this.
I did see some of that.
Thank you. But folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigated.